Now we continue our Transworld Sport Classic series, in which we look back on some of our favourite features from the past quarter of a century. This week, the story that we first brought to our viewers 8 years ago. It was November 2004 when Transworld Sport made the trip to American Samoa. We headed to this remote place to report on the passion that exists there for American football, particularly at the high school level.
Samoans were born to be warriors, and it's like a tradition that has been passed on from generation to generation, and till today, it is like the only gateway that we have for future success in life.
I love the physical contact. There's nothing better when you get a nice hit on a quarterback or on a running back and you let them know that you're there. And everybody knows that it was a big hit, and you know, and the running back's laying there and he's like, I don't want to come this way again. It's a good feeling to have.
American Samoa is a group of small South Pacific islands with a population of 70,000. This volcanic outcrop is the USA's southernmost territory, closer to New Zealand than Hawaii. The islands were annexed by the US in 1900, and locals proudly celebrate that event each year. Most of the population speaks both Samoan and English. Polynesian and American cultures fuse here, and we found that nowhere is that more evident than in the dominant sport of American football. Our visit in 2004 coincided with the American Samoan High School Championship final. In terms of grandeur, it may be a world away from the college and professional game, but as we discovered, it excites just as much passion. On the eve of the championship game, we visited one of the finalists, the Whangatua Vikings. The school arranged a pep rally to focus support for the Vikings, who'd won the previous 2 titles and who were overwhelming favourites for a third. Off the field, Samoans are friendly and deeply spiritual, but on the field, they play with remarkable ferocity. Even in practice, they relish full-blooded physical contact. According to the Vikings coach, their biggest problem is knowing when to stop.
All the blessings that we received this day.
I think that's a part where it gets us in trouble at times when we go in the States. I mean, we're so, we want to just get there and just knock the living out of the next person and so forth.
Just a few kilometres from Whangatua, their opponents also prepared for the biggest single sporting event of the year. The Tafuna Warriors might have been the underdogs, but there was a belief that they could beat the odds. The equipment here was basic. Uniforms were patched and repaired. We found out that rubber slippers were often used as makeshift pads. Despite this, we saw how the game was played with an incredible intensity. So much so that colleges in mainland America were starting to take notice of the players emerging from this tiny outpost. Many US colleges run multi-million-dollar athletic programs. Although their football competitions are defined as amateur, they are in essence a second tier of professional football. The talented youngsters in American Samoa who we met were dreaming of moving to the States on college scholarships.
My goal after I finish school is to attend a 4-year course at an American college. If the Lord wishes it, then I will enjoy success during my playing time in college and then make it to the NFL. That's my dream.
Vikings linebacker Daryl Nua was one of the most highly regarded high school players in 2004. He was in his senior year, and the final would mark the end of his high school football career. He'd received several scholarship offers from US colleges, but he told us that they wouldn't be on his mind during the game itself.
The only thing I'll think about when I put on my uniform before the championship game will be that I have a great responsibility and a great honour. During the game, I'll be representing my village, my entire community, and most importantly, my parents.
Respect for elders is important in Samoan culture. Although there is centralised government, at village levels, tribal chiefs still hold sway. US coaches have said that they like American Samoans because they're used to hierarchy and discipline. That, combined with their physical power, makes them highly desirable recruits. But while many colleges are willing to offer them athletic scholarships, we found out that they faced one big problem: their generally poor academic standards. The schools were basic, and preparing for the standard assessment tests to qualify for scholarships was an uphill struggle. Their results weren't helped by the fact that for many players, English is a second language. Marcelino Tautu was the Education Department's athletic director.
I urge these Samoan kids to keep trying and to persevere in class. The most important thing for them must be to concentrate on their education. After that, yes, then they can pursue excellence in sport. If their education is sound, then all the other things will fall into place naturally.
The night before the final, it was hard for the players to think about studying. Most Samoans are devout Christians, and on this evening there was little need for the village policeman to enforce the daily prayer curfew. Inside their homes, players and families were busy asking for success the following day. Game day, and it was the Vikings who arrived first. The stadium that hosted the final was shared by all 6 high school teams. It was a modest venue that lacked even changing rooms. The topsoil of the playing field had been eroded in parts, exposing the volcanic gravel below. But none of that mattered when there was a championship to win. From the first quarter onwards, it was the Vikings who controlled the game, with their offense rampaging through the backfield. The Vikings' defense smothered the Warriors. They went on to win by 45 points to 6. The victory secured the Whangatua Vikings their 3rd successive American Samoan high school championship. The following year, a number of these young men left these shores to go and play college football in mainland America. There are currently 200+ Samoans playing Division I college football and around 30 plying their trade in the NFL. Almost all of their journeys to the top of the sport began on the high school playing fields of their homeland.